So that's what I'm gonna do from now on. When I'm late, we're just going right in. We are just going right in. Tay the Fae can't watch tonight. Compare the two. I missed it. I don't know what the context is there. Let's see, let's get some music going. What sounds good? What sounds good? Mm. Yeah, we're just starting. Tried and true.
F-35s, fighter jets.
You can't see it.
Hey.
You can't see it. Even if it's right next to it, it can't see.
Don't forget to
Dot.
switch, guys. If you're showing things, I might get you copyright strike. True. And I did, and you know what's funny? It's funny you said that because I definitely got one. So that's always great. I did. Not a strike, but I definitely got the last stream. It got taken down, and I had to like cut out the whole thing. So you are not wrong. You are not wrong at all. Let's go here. Go live. Let's get that set up there. There we go. Error, duplicate stream key. Get a new stream key before going live. Can y'all send me on No. That can't be right. There we go. 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 Yeah, there you go. Okay, okay. Just had to double check. Now let me get the Twitch chat up. Yeah, I think I want to watch the Amanda Seals thing. You know, like we can hate Jubilee, but it's hard to stay hating Jubilee because she went in. She went on them. You know, I don't know that there's anything to be learned. You know, there's nothing that's gonna be said that's gonna be like, dang, that really makes you think. You know, but it's Nazis getting yelled at. You know. Did you eat my almond joys? Did you eat my almond joys? See you, Rouse. Robo and Left Brigade. Yeah, let me pop this chat out real quick. Yeah, let me pop this chat out real quick. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Am I echoing? Hold on. Am I echoing? Hold on. I think I have something going to the stream that shouldn't be. Like that. Yep, that's what it was. That's what it was. All right, that should be fixed. That should be fixed. Give me all the almond joys. Look. I had 2. How many are in there? I'm sorry, y'all. Let me set this up. Let me set this up, and then we'll get right into it. Rough start. Rough start. Does anybody know what Obsidian is? Because I definitely lost all my show notes, and that's shitty. That's pretty shitty. So we're gonna use another product, but hopefully it'll have the links I need. All right. Yeah, today we're gonna talk about the new liberal darling, Gavin Newsom. Not gonna lie, some of the memes are they're okay. Oh, thank you. Oh damn, dehydrated. The true hero. Welcome back. I saw the chat. I know you guys were in the YouTube chat wondering where I was. God, Gavin has coiffed hair. We're not gonna watch that. We are gonna watch. Yeah. So here's what we're gonna do. I think we're ready. It's gonna be a bumpy ride because I had show notes, I had links, I had shit ready. Railroad Daddy, you've been watching too much. Gilded Age. That's what it is. Gilded Age. You need to stop. Yeah. So I had notes. I had shit ready to go, and for some reason, my Obsidian pick an app. Oh no. My Obsidian did not keep the file, or I accidentally deleted it. So I'm gonna have this search, and hopefully it comes up. .obsidian. Star.obsidian. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. As long as you don't blame it on Mandy the Sun. No. It wasn't her. Yeah, it's an idea I had over the weekend, right? Because I could see us going down the very same road. Gavin Newsom is all over the internet right now, and it's due to a very specific person, and it's not Gavin Newsom. It is not Gavin Newsom. Yeah, let me go on my history because let's go, Gavin. There it is. So before anybody, breaks their arm jacking off Gavin Newsom. No, wrong button. I want you all to realize something. That that I never, ever will update the title on the screen before I change the scene. Ever. But half Mexican, half Puerto Rican, Camille Zapata, digital director, crafted Trump-style posts. You think this is Gavin Newsom punching back? No. Oh yeah, block all this shit. Stay off my computer. Here's some of the funny shit. So Trump 2028 isn't a joke. Doesn't believe the rules, and he'll do anything. Blah blah blah. Wake up America, right? Donald is finished. He is no longer hot. First a hand so tiny, and now me, Gavin C. Newsom, having taken away his step. Many are saying he can't do the big stairs on Air Force One anymore. Uses the little baby stairs now. Sad. Tomorrow he's got his meeting with. This is not him. This isn't him. This is Camille Zapata. The idea to mimic the president's voice came from Camille Zapata, digital director of Governor Newsom's office. Zapata has held the role since June 2024 and previously worked on political campaigns in local government and as communications consultant in the digital space. So I mean, even if you wanted to give him credit for like, hey, guy's funny though, guy's killing it on Twitter. No, he's not. Camille Zapata is. But the reason why I thought about this over the weekend, the reason why is, and obviously people have been talking about it over the on threads. Was about to get a raise. She better, right? We are headed for the same disaster that we have seen time and time and time and time and time again, where we look for people who can make us feel good at the moment, who will shake jingly keys in front of us, and we go to the voting pool, the voting booth, all hee hee and goo goo gagging at the distraction. Um, and it's happening. It's happening right now. Uh, Gavin Newsom is the California governor, and yes, he is going after, even if it's not him writing it, he's going after Trump. And I would be lying. I would be lying if I said that that it wasn't enjoyable, right? That it wasn't enjoyable to watch him you know, go after Donald Trump like that. But it would be more enjoyable if I didn't already know the hell? What's going on here. My my start button doesn't work. That's interesting. As long as I'm streaming, fuck it. I guess we don't get a start button today. Um Time after time. When you lost, then you look and you will find me. Time after time. Doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. Sorry. Okay. You can't do that. You can't do that to me. So the memes are funny. Let's see. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Let's go Gavin Newsom memes. Oh, this one doesn't even barely show it. Hulk Hogan can't stand Gavin Newsom. Ex-wife says, "Well, no shit. Who gives a fuck?" Yeah, let's check this out. I'm on here now, not Twitch. Hello. Hello, hello. Let's update this title. Gavin Newsom. Fuck it. That's all we're getting. We're getting his name. I can't think of anything else to put. Someone think about a clever title and I'll put it there. 10 pieces? Ma'am, when I came back from Chicago, the bag was half gone. And now you have only 10 pieces left? Ma'am. That shit had more empty wrappers than it did Almond Joys. Donald Trump. Okay, so here we go. He's over here. He's Mike Johnson would hate you to would hate for you to know that nearly 40% of his district is on Medicaid. By that 1.6 million Louisianans, about 35% of the state rely on it. Do your job. We didn't have this problem until Trump got involved. Rescind the order. Return to California. What is this? Oh, I don't give a fuck. All right, too sensitive. Is there a picture where he doesn't look like, I don't know, an evil con man? Gavin Newsom memes. So this is actually pretty. I like this, right? And this is where it gets hard to criticize Gavin Newsom, because you know who else hates Gavin Newsom? MAGA. MAGA hates Gavin Newsom, right? Because he's mean to their dad. You know, he's mean to their daddy, and how dare he? Right? And let's see. California is the largest GDP of any state, with Texas behind it is number 2, right? And they hate it. They hate it. So they have to believe that all of California is a mess and it's all on fire. It's all just crime ridden and hard. Right, right. The worst state in the union apparently is also gives the highest is also results in the highest GDP in the nation. But you know what? You know, we can repurpose some of these, because this is actually true. As much as I want to give props to Zapata, I don't know if we should be patting her too hard on the back, because what she is doing is allowing Gavin Newsom to run cover now. And and why is that? Why is that? All right. So now I'm gonna go over to this other thing that doesn't have all my notes, but we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. Homeless tough love approach. I think everybody has seen the picture by now, right? It was on the thumbnail. If y'all didn't know, this is a real event. This is Gavin Newsom tearing down homeless encampments, telling them you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. This is the liberal darling. Gavin Newsom has a little Patrick Bateman American Cycle on him. Yeah, like he's having way too much fun. These are people who have nothing. They have absolutely nothing. And he says, you got to go because I don't want you here. This is the liberal darling, right? And this is what I mean about how we see this time and time again, where we're picking people based off personality, and this is what's in their repertoire. The nonprofit Housing is a Human Right called it heartless and ultra conservative, noting that simply sweeping unhoused people off public land runs counter to humane housing first solutions favored by progressives. This hardline approach is consistent with Newsom's history as he spearheaded San Francisco 2004 Care Not Cash. Care Not Cash. That sounds pretty nice. Let's see. Let's see what we can find about it. Care Not Cash. It's all right. There you go. Y'all read that. No, I'm just kidding. So in his Care Not Cash, he took away cash welfare from people in San Francisco. Yeah, I think this is when he was mayor. When he was mayor of, in San Francisco, took away cash because he said they're not gonna use that for the right reasons, so we're gonna give them a bed. So apparently they moved out and put them and gave them beds. Still no money, right? Still no money, but they gave them somewhere to sleep. And so now they don't have the money to eat. At first, it goes down 10%. The houselessness goes down 10%, and it's a victory. See, told you so. Everything worked. Like a year later, everything spiked back up to levels above what it was. And again, it is because of the same thing that we on the left continue to talk about till we're blue in the face. The idea that you have to deal with the core of the problem, the root. Like, what is the actual cancer that you're putting band-aids on? This chat looks pretty woke. I imagine you look at the camera when you said that. What's up, Cypher? These motherfuckers do not know how to deal with the actual problem. They like to deal with problems the same way I used to clean my room when I was a teenager. If you don't see it, lo tigre. If you don't see it, then it's not there. God, I used to be so pissed when when they would look into the bed though. Yeah, she was a fairy that day. She was a fairy princess. This chat looks broke back woke. All right, I guess we'll show the context for that one. Where is that at? Funny stuff. What's wrong with you? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong with you? What happened to you, Bone Factory? Winner of 4 BAFTA awards, 3 Academy Awards, Best Carter Presents, starring Ernie Carruthers and whatever the fuck Robo's real name is. I just noticed that. Wokebrack Mountain, a Nerds of Culture film. Very nice. Very nice. That was a good picture. You feeling left out? Did you want to be in the snuggle pile? I haven't signed off for you to show this. It's mine. You put it in the server. All art put into the Left Brigade becomes property of Left Face Media LLC. Ernie looks unimpressed. No, he just was mad because he had to be the little spoon that day. So, you know, what are you gonna do? Screenshot is something to it. It's in the Discord. Oh man, has anybody's start button just stopped working? That's really annoying. That's usually how I like. Well, I didn't show the back. What was the back? Hold on. Oh, very nice. Jeez. Stunning. The most important film to come out of here. Well, Beck Mountain from the man who brought you the Greg Land before time. Greg Land, very nice. Carter Presents comes with the story of two men separated by a mountain, but brought together by wokeness. That's actually pretty true. Seeing that I live in Georgia and he lives in Memphis. It's woke. Guy with the fucked up hairline. Are you gonna eat that meth, nerd erotic? Why are you making me a part of this, Carter? Oh shit! You sweat in your sleep, don't you? My ex used to hate that. Yes, yes. That's not a joke, though. I do sweat in my sleep. That's what happens when you have PTSD or anxiety issues. You sweat in your sleep. So all right, let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. Yeah, cash not care. I'm gonna take away money. I'm gonna give you a bed. Now you don't have money to eat. Homelessness goes down, then it spikes right back up. The drugs, right? Let's see. Let's see what we got here. In San Francisco, uh, is this it right here? Yeah. So this is 2023. Uh, San Francisco was having a pretty bad drug use problem. Lots of overdoses. I actually remember it being on the news and them finding like just dead bodies from overdose people, and especially amongst the houseless. And so Gavin Newsom, liberal darling, um, probably you can bet your ass that all of this is a setup for him to run in 2028. You have two options. You can either round them all up and put them in jail. Are you doing drugs? Jail. Sell drugs? Jail. Passed out from drugs? Jail. Or you can address the actual problem and help people get off and stay off drugs. Considering he's against Trump and he's clearly this huge lefty, what do you think he chose to do? Wait. Donald Trump moved in the National Guard, right? Sent Marines down to LA, moved in the National Guard, and Gavin Newsom, he said, nah, not in my state. Not in my state, buddy. Take this tweet that sounds like you did it, but I'm making fun of you. He wasn't having any of that. You know what he did in response to the drug epidemic in San Francisco? He called it the National Guard. The National Guard and California Highway Patrol went through and started rounding up and did a crackdown. As you could imagine, this involved arresting a disproportionate amount of black and brown people and did nothing with regard to drug use. Hundreds of arrests, most of them for using. So it's not even you didn't break up any gangs, you didn't clear up the mafia or some shit, you didn't cut off cartels. You just took people who, again, I'm at the so we have a trend starting here. I'm at the worst point in my life. I'm living on the streets. Gavin Newsom's answer is get the fuck out of here. I don't give a shit. I don't want to see you. How, can, can we do something about this? Can we change? Can we push legislation to improve mental health, to improve public housing, to do something that addresses the reason why people become homeless in the first place? Nobody wants to be homeless. What is his solution? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. What's the solution to drugs? Are we helping people? Are we helping addicts? Are we addressing the addiction? No. Absolutely not. Jews and Trump will probably find a lot of common ground on about how they feel about homeless. How they feel about the homeless? How they feel about quite a few things. Quite a few things. How should we handle drugs? Lock them up. Lock them up. But, sir, Oregon has decriminalized drugs. All drugs. Portugal has decriminalized all drugs. They are seeing phenomenal numbers because they're taking the money. And this, by the way, this is what defund the police is about. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about, oh, it's bad messaging or whatever. Okay, yeah, maybe so because most people are fucking stupid. But defunding the police was always about reallocating funds. Portugal did it. Oregon did it. Great results. Great results. And no, it doesn't mean that they're legal and that you can do heroin. You could do heroin. What do you call it? Recreationally. No. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you're caught overdosing, or you're caught, with these drugs on you, then you get put into the system. You get sent to go get help. And yeah, maybe it's against your will, but I mean, you were passed out at the wheel, nodding off. You know what I'm saying? Because you redirect resources to solve the problem. When you send people to jail, what do they say? When criminals go to jail, it's like criminal university. They go and they meet people who've been lifelong criminals, and they learn new tricks, and people who have been in multiple times. Like, here's how I got caught. Here's how you don't get caught. They come out smarter criminals. You go inside an addict because your life sucks. Your life's gonna suck even worse. You're gonna come out a worse addict. Some drugs in Oregon are illegal. We have a huge homeless problem here. Yeah, of course, yeah. I want to see how Portland goes. Portland has 4 DSA members on their city council now, and I really want to see the long term. Oh, by the way, hi Taco. Just noticed. Screwface Capone, Uvalde made the biggest case for defunding the police. Yeah, 100%. Why outfit them with military when all they're gonna do is stand around and cosplay their Call of Duty avatar? You know why? You still have to do it. Screwface, you're missing a critical key point to this whole thing. The reason why they need to do that is because it was never about saving children from school shooters. It was never about that. That is just something that can happen. Maybe. If they fucking feel like it. Supreme Court said that police officers do not have a duty to put their lives at risk to save somebody else. Supreme Court ruled. Their job is to collect taxes for the king by way of making sure your registration is paid, by enforcing laws that are created by a white supremacist and oppressive system. That's what they do. There are other countries that have programs with the jails, prison system with high success rate that focus on recovery for addicts. And that's the whole point right there. It is the point of it is the recovery part. Our prison system, again, it kind of goes back like to the police. So the police they're not designed to they were not created for cases like school shooters. And prisons were not created to rehabilitate people. That has been a lie they tell, but we know that it isn't completely true. It's there for punishment. It is there to push people out of the way, and really, what is there for? They kind of tell on themselves with the 13th Amendment, and that's slave labor. That's what it's for. Because don't you forget, slavery was never completely abolished. Slavery is alive and well today and is legal per the 13th Amendment. I say this at least once every other stream. Slavery is henceforth abolished except for as punishment for a crime in the United States Constitution. Gavin Newsom, let's see. By the way, if you guys come in a little late, I had a whole document with links and notes for myself and an outline. I was actually responsible today. I was a responsible content creator, probably for maybe not more than the third time since I've been doing this. 99.9% of the time, I'm shooting from the hip. I got shit I want to talk about. We come on and we talk about it. But today, I'm like, no, I want to break down what this fool does. So I have some like shitty notes that I'm trying to like go through, but I made an outline and everything. That shit's gone. So if you're wondering why I'm no. Rejects. What do they call it? It's because I'm doing this. I said, fuck it, we're doing live. Prisons equal plantations, yeah. No, stop it. Oh, here we go.
Just moments ago, Governor Gavin Newsom vetoed a bill that would create what supporters have called safe injection sites in California. It's a story we're following for you right here on The 4. I'm Heather Myers.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. Political reporter Morgan Reiner joins us now to explain how the governor found himself between a rock and a hard place before making this big decision. Morgan?
Good afternoon, Heather and Carlo. To show you just how controversial this bill actually was, it passed the House and the Senate by just 1 and 2 votes. Many legislators didn't even know which side they wanted to be on, so they sat out of voting altogether. And now we know just how many concerns Newsom had too.
Senator Scott Wiener is the author of the bill that would have created what he calls safe consumption sites in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Oakland as pilot programs for the state.
Deeply disappointed that the governor vetoed this important life-saving legislation. People are dying on our streets right now, 2 a day in San Francisco, with deaths happening around the state. And these safe consumption sites, they've been in operation around the world for decades.
He says evidence is clear that this would have helped.
Proven track record of saving lives, of connecting people to treatment, reducing HIV and hepatitis infections, reducing syringe litter on the sidewalks.
Republican Assembly member Kevin Kiley is pleased and ready for more.
I'm glad that the governor did not take this incredibly radical and backward step, but this isn't nearly enough. This is a tragedy of opioid addiction and overdoses that is absolutely devastating communities across the state and across this country.
Political expert Steve
So let's not rush past that. Who in the California state representative was like, yeah, hell yeah, I want them to get AIDS. I want them to OD. Fuck them. God made consequences for a reason. Who was that? The fucking Republican. Because that is a conservative thing to do. Conservatives don't give a fuck about the individual or humanity. Pro-life, my ass. They don't give two shits about that. They give a fuck about, I don't want to see it. I want them to get consequences. These are the same types of people who won't let their kids have condoms or teach them about safe sex because they think if they get AIDS or get pregnant, then that's God's will, because that's what punishment is for, and they feel good about that. They feel good like doing that. So when you tell them, hey, listen, if we do safe site injections, there's going to be resources on site. There's going to be counselors on site. There's going to be ways for, yes, they're going to get their fix, but they're going to be able to get clean needles, and they're going to be able to they won't share, and they won't overdose. And we're going to watch AIDS, we're going to watch overdoses go down. We're going to see AIDS transmission go down. And we're going to see drug use go down, because at least some of them are going to take advantage of the counseling and mental health professionals that we have on site. What the Republican hears is, so you're saying they won't get AIDS and die? Sorry. Can't do it. Can't do it, buddy.
Watt said there will be political blowback.
He will incur the wrath of California progressives, and that's his natural constituency. And these progressives believe that these safe injection sites will reduce the number of drug overdoses on the streets and also save lives.
All right, so why did the governor veto this bill? In a statement, he said that while he has long been a supporter of, quote, harm reduction strategies, he says that he is also deeply concerned that there's no strong, engaged local leadership and no sustainability plan for these safe injection sites.
In the weeks leading up to this, Morgan, the governor hadn't really hinted too strongly either way or where he was going. But is this decision, the decision to veto this, is this a surprise?
Well, Carlo, up until an hour ago when we got the news, we didn't know which way the governor was going to go on this. A week ago, reporters asked the governor to comment on this bill. He says,
well, now you know. And he's been doing it ever since. Even some struggling addicts in San Francisco argue that jailing users isn't the answer, and we need compassion, noting that people often come out of jail in worse condition without treatment or housing. Newsom's law and order stance, where we heard that before, in this case stood in contrast to progressive public health measures, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I wrote this down, but apparently during the lockdown, fuck you. Let's see. These things even work. Paywall. Let's see. They've been getting pretty smart, and oh yeah, not smart enough. Just in case you guys ever need to do that, just Google paywall remover. So who was it? Who was the guy that during a crisis was found in like Acapulco or Cancun or some shit? Ted Cruz. So far, we're seeing like, who is this guy like? In his actions and in his policy, who does he remind us of? I'm seeing Trump and I'm seeing Ted Cruz so far. Yeah, exactly. During the lockdown, where Seattle was one of the most strictest states on lockdowns, on masks, on businesses and essential personnel, all that stuff. California was one of the most strict states. And this dude goes to a Napa Valley restaurant with other wealthy elites and is out there just rubbing elbows, not maintaining 6 feet. I'm not sure if they had there's no pictures. I'm not sure if they had masks on or not. Somebody tweeted his kids can learn in person, yours can't. He can celebrate birthday parties, you can't, because they had tutors that come over. He can dine on a $350 meal at one of California's fanciest restaurants during the worst recession in generations, but you definitely can't. Oh yeah. You do you. Viola Tree 69. Welcome back. Also, Murder Esper, notice you're a first-time chatter. Welcome to Left Brigade. So far we got Trump, we got Cruz. Here's one. This one I can't even be mad about. I can't blame it on my notes. I could just say that I didn't edit it. I was gonna edit it, and then I didn't. You know. So instead of scrubbing through an hour and 11 minutes, let's go with Gavin Newsom, Charlie Kirk, trans athletes. California governor, right? California governor, home of San Francisco. One of the queer capitals of the United States.
It's like you right now should come out and be like, you know what? The young man who's about to win the state championship in the long jump in female sports, right. that shouldn't happen. You as the governor.
What about the young girl who is going to place 9th and 10th and 4th? Wait, that's too many places because I think that's more trans athletes.
Should step out and say no.
No, and I appreciate
but like, would you do something like that? Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that.
So we got Trump, we got Ted Cruz.
Do something like that? Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. So that's easy to call out, the unfairness of that. There's also a humility and a grace, that these poor people are more likely to commit suicide, have anxiety and depression. And the way that people talk down to vulnerable communities is an issue that I have a hard time with as well. So both things I can hold in my hand.
yeah, I can be compassionate and a bigot. It's a skill. It's a skill. Like my heart breaks. Uh, but also fuck you, you know? Last thing I read about online is Newsom is he's the only one courageous enough to go to. Okay, so you missed this part. He's not though. His digital communicator, his head of digital communications is Camille Zapata. Is writing his tweets. It's her idea to mock Trump and do those all caps tweets. He's not this guy. This guy. Okay, how about labor? How about labor? Biggest GDP in the union, progressive, Democrat. Our hero, the guy willing to stand up to Donald Trump. What about labor? In 2021, California legislation passed AB 616, which was a very bigly beautiful bill by the United Farm Workers. And everybody wanted to see this happen. Like I said, it passed California legislation. I didn't read that comment correctly. Which one? And our boy Newsom vetoes it. California farm workers, among the lowest paid, who are predominantly Latino laborers, it was going to become easier to unionize and participate in unions by allowing mail-in voting to union elections. Now, okay. All right, follow me here. We have Trump-like dealing with the homeless. We have Trump-like dealing with drugs and crime. We have Ted Cruz during crises. We have who else? What other group of people do not like to see workers unionize? Like, is it obvious yet? He's a good-looking man. He's got great hair. He's got charisma. But what are we doing? He killed a bill. Okay, let me try to listen. The bill wasn't going to cost anything. Like, right? It wasn't like a bill that's going to say, like, how are we going to afford this? Oh, I'm sorry, I just don't agree that we can, you know what I mean? Like, no. It was to make it easier to vote. Because if it's easy to vote, then the people will truly be representative. Who doesn't want us to vote? Who makes it harder to vote? Conservatives. The Republican Party doesn't want us to vote. Democratic legislators called AB 616 the most important union organizing bill of the year. One Democratic legislator said she was truly devastated by Newsom's rejection. The veto came just after the U.S. Supreme Court had rolled back union access to farms, worsening the power imbalance between market farmhands and agribusiness. Yeah. They have already, like, this is how, and this is what we're going to do, all right? We are going to spend the next 2.5 years inoculating ourselves to not get caught up in the bullshit of 2028. Okay? I need everybody to get ready and to steel themselves to not get caught up in the bullshit of 2028. Do not let people tell you, especially not before the fucking goddamn primary, especially not years before the goddamn primary, that you can't go and criticize somebody and say, no, this is not the dude, find somebody better. Right now, go look up my fucking threads right now where I post about this stream and watch. At least 2 or 3 people so far have said, hey, we gotta work, we gotta work with what we have. And this, really, this is what if he's willing to go against Trump, I don't like him either. But bro, the primary is not for fucking 2 years. 2 fucking years, and you're already rolling over on your back. We are spelling this out, and we are going to continue spelling this out so it's not about purity testing. It's not about, wow, nobody's good enough for leftists. It's, this guy shouldn't be good enough for anybody. How about environment? How about environment? Yeah. I wouldn't be too sure about that. I'm not even 100% we're going to have an election in 2028. Despite California's green image, Governor Newsom has faced criticism for decisions favoring fossil fuels interests. Approved, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, ... 12 fracking permits. And where are they fracking? Where are they fracking? They are fracking in the hills of Kern County's Lost Hills Field, a community with over 97%, over 97% Hispanic. Good night, man-eater. 97% Hispanic community. Gavin Newsom says, drill, baby, drill. Where have we heard that before? Well, Biden. That's where we heard that. That's the last place we heard it, right? Biden was doing the same thing. And then the Republicans come in and then try to pretend like Democrats don't do that so they can be the people that are for oil and industry and low gas prices, when that's exactly what Democrats were doing. Environmental justice groups were outraged that Newsom greenlit drilling in such vulnerable areas. After campaigning on phasing out fracking, watchdogs noted that area's lobbyists had close personal ties to Newsom and denounced the situation as unseemly. influence. Lost my spot. Oh shit! This. Consumer Watchdog wrote via email that IRA should not be able to buy the influence it apparently has over state oil and gas policy. Last November, prior to the 24 permits issued in April, Newsom had declared a statewide fracking permit moratorium in response to scandal involving a regulator of the California Division of Oil. Yeah. What was it? What was it that there was one thing where he ran on it and then it says psych? Ah, healthcare. That's right. That's right. Unity Black, what's going on? Sad part is drill, baby, drill don't work when you can't refine more than half the oil in your own ground. They have to export to import stuff they can refine. Outraged but surprised. No. No. Healthcare promise versus performance. Newsom campaigned as a bold progressive in healthcare, explicitly promising single-payer universal healthcare. Let's see if we can find that.
System after the bill died in legislature Monday. The bill was sponsored by the California Nurses Association and would have centralized a state-run financing system known as CalCare. The plan was estimated to cost between $314 billion and $391 billion a year. Newsom has instead been touting his proposal to extend Medi-Cal to all income-eligible, undocumented adults. Founder of the Daily Poster, David Sirota, joins us now to discuss. Hi, David. Welcome to the show. So tell us what exactly happened. Why do you think Gavin Newsom killed this bill? And then secondly, I would like to know if you know the difference between how single payer would have actually changed the system already in place here in California. I mean, I'm here in California, and I could tell you that pretty much anybody, no matter their income, can get health insurance. It seems to be pretty available. So how is this different, and why did Gavin kill it?
Well, I mean, the governor didn't kill it himself. The California legislature has previously passed single-payer bills when a Republican governor was in office, Arnold Schwarzenegger. They sent a couple single-payer bills to Governor Schwarzenegger's desk, and he vetoed it. And the California Democratic lawmakers are essentially refusing to send a similar or even the same bill that the previous California Democratic legislators, they're refusing to send that to Governor Newsom's desk.
That's a good question, Josh.
That's not to say that Newsom isn't to blame. He is partially to blame because he was the one who went out on the campaign trail and said that he was going to be the leader in the fight for a single-payer healthcare system. And then he, right before this bill deadline came up, he backed away. He said he wasn't sure that he could support it. He essentially certainly didn't lead the fight for the bill. The bill is a simple idea that hasn't been able to be passed anywhere in the country because the health insurance industry is so powerful. The idea is that there would be a single government payer for medical services, basic medical services in a state or in a country. We don't have that. That's Medicare for all in the United States. But California, the argument is it's a big enough economy to actually be able to do that. This bill would have sent a measure to the ballot asking the public for approval for the tax increases necessary to fund a single-payer system. And that's what ended up not moving forward. The Democrats actually pulled it back, not sending it to the governor's desk.
Well, kind of odd in a state that's like run completely by Democrats. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, what was the rationale that they gave for this move?
They basically said they didn't have the support in the legislature to pass it through the assembly, so they weren't even going to hold a vote. Now, it did pass a committee, and as I said, a single-payer bill has passed the Democratic-controlled legislature in California before, when the Democrats knew there was a Republican governor there to veto it. I mean, you want to talk about an example of kind of performative politics, sending a single-payer bill to a Republican governor's desk and not being willing to send it to a Democrat's desk. A Democrat who has said he supports single-payer is kind of, that is the epitome of performative politics. And what happened in between there? What happened in between the time that Newsom said he wanted a single-payer bill and then he backed away from it? Well, a $1 million check from a major health insurance company was dumped into the California Democratic Party. Newsom himself, his campaign has taken lots of money from health insurance companies in between him saying, I support single-payer, and then backing away from it.
I'm not sure that's...
Surprise! I know what everybody was thinking. Everybody was like, okay, this is going to be the curveball where we find out Gavin Newsom actually, this is the one good thing he did, right? He, no. In 2018, he earned the enthusiastic backing of the California Nurses Association by vowing to implement a state single-payer system, declaring, I'm tired of politicians saying they support single-payer. This is a quote, by the way. I'm tired of politicians saying they support single-payer, but that it's too soon, too expensive, or someone else's problem. Once elected, Newsom all but dropped the single-payer push. He formed a commission to study it, but took no concrete action and let single-payer legislation die without his endorsement. By 2022, even mainstream observers noted Newsom had virtually done nothing to implement single-payer despite his campaign pledge. Yeah. Oh, here's a beautiful one, right? Here's a beautiful one. Okay, but things just we can't afford it. We can't afford it. Here's a great one. This is just fucking beautiful right here. With support of Governor Newsom, California utility PG&E finalizes settlement with fire victims. On Tuesday, California Bankruptcy Court approved the revised $13.5 billion settlement between PG&E Company and wildfire victims, as well as an $11 billion settlement between PG&E and insurance creditors that paid for the fire damages. In a letter sent to PG&E CEO Bill Johnson last Friday, Newsom declared that the settlement failed to meet the reforms necessary for PG&E to comply with the Assembly bill, a new state law implemented in July, for California utilities to be eligible for a $21 billion bailout fund to pay for its future wildfire damages, which PG&E intends to use in order to pay its settlements. The state of California puts money aside to pay for liabilities of a private, publicly traded company. $21 billion with a B dollars. 21 billion. PG&E has gone through its own scandals with not having upkeep in the on their power lines. You know, there was something that happened with Trump. Anytime Trump says something stupid, like really stupid, I think to myself, what is the real story that he is too stupid to understand, right? The example I always give is that windmills are killing whales. Windmills are killing whales. And he got made fun of, and I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? This is crazy. Turns out the windmills were offshore windmills, and the big giant cement pillars in the water, like, I guess, you know, with the currents that were getting, I guess a whale died. So there's sometimes you just kind of like live through it, right? You just kind of sift through it, and you'll find like, oh, yeah, he's just a fucking idiot, but here's what he was trying to get at. Do you all remember when Donald Trump was talking about how the woods, after the wildfires, that they just needed to rake up the forest? They just need to like go through and clean up the forest, right? Because he's a moron. Because our president is a fucking has the education level, the never mind. I don't know if I might be tiptoeing into ableism. So he's a fucking moron. It actually made sense. Once I was looking into this whole thing, I'm like, oh, that's why he said that. So PG&E, a lot of these fires were done because when you have power lines running through the mountains or running through dry areas, it's PG&E's responsibility to go through and make sure that you don't have like trees growing over the lines, or that there's not giant brush at the bottom or something like that, you know, so that these giant electric lines don't cause fires, you know? So it's like, oh, so somebody said that to Donald Trump. They clearly probably used too many words, and he took out of that, there's too many leaves in the woods or some shit like that. And instead of holding PG&E accountable, instead of saying no, you're gonna pay these liabilities, and you're gonna pay out, and you're gonna fix your shit. No, the state would rather put $21 billion aside to pay their settlements. Facts, I live. Oh yeah, what part you live in? I'm from San Diego. That's where I went to high school, in San Diego. Did Republicans underfund all these bodies that deal with now? But the problem was there before Trump. Like the thing about Trump is Trump hasn't actually created any problems. And I know somebody's like, what? No. Trump has exacerbated problems. Trump has taken problems that have always been there systemically and then like threw gasoline on it, right? But there's nothing new that Trump has created. And so, I don't have that fucking thing over. Stephen Lovedoot. What's going on? Yeah, chill vibe. Would love to catch your next stream with some friends. If you're cool with it, add me on Discord, Steven002. Steven0. Oh, okay. I was about to say, that's not the same. That's not the same username. Welcome to Left Brigade, Steven. But that did remind me. I gotta get the Streamlabs up. Yeah. Is it the same that we should put out wildfires with the ocean water? That's you know, I wouldn't it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. Because you know how easy it is to transport water. Like super easy. Just all you have to do is get a giant cartoon bucket, right? And like have it lifted up by a helicopter, dip it in the water, then fly it over and just tip it over. What? We can't do that? We could put a man on the moon, but we can't create a giant cartoon bucket? Yeah. Just run that shit all the way across to the desert. I don't see the problem. I don't see the problem. Oh, Lord. 2008, San Francisco has a proud reputation as a sanctuary city protecting immigrants, but then Mayor Gavin Newsom broke the progressive immigration advocates in 2008 by toughening the city's stance. That year, after a tragic gang-related killing of a family by an undocumented repeat offender, Newsom abruptly ordered that undocumented juveniles charged with felonies be referred to ICE for deportation, a reversal of San Francisco's prior practice of not handing over youth to federal authorities. He even vetoed a board of supervisors ordinance that sought to restore the sanctuary protections for those youths, and when the board overrode his veto, his administration reportedly continued the referrals regardless. Who does that sound like? Who does that sound like? What's up, Jack Life? The problem with oh shit, yeah. Well, that's a whole ass salting the earth. Damn, you smart. You smart, Mert Esper. You smart. Well, damn, I guess I'm the stupid one then. Is that problematic that I did that in a southern accent? I need to be better. Did I answer your question? No, I didn't answer your question because it's a good question. It's a probably get in trouble again. How dare you? Banned. But if Newsom is a no-go for support, who should we support? Is there anyone in public arena currently that you would support? Let's make that homework then. Let's make that homework. On Friday's stream, let's we're gonna talk about a list of promising Democrats. How about that? I would like to find somebody to talk to about third-party shit. I listen, I know this is not popular. But yeah, Luigi, there you go. I think he might have been born in Italy, though. He was either born in Italy or is he just an Italian citizen? I think we need to redo the Constitution, honestly. I think we just need to just scratch it, redo the whole thing. No, it's my homework. Yeah, I mean, but if you guys want to bring ideas, can't be Elizabeth Warren. Can't be Elizabeth. Israel has the right to defend itself, Warren. Like, I think we all need to, you know, like I said, we need to have learned some lessons from Kamala Harris, right? We need to watch the energy and the motivation that people had, and then watch it dwindle and disappear. And there are debates on to what caused it. Maybe it was Gaza. Maybe it wasn't Gaza. Who is that? You know, who is that? Like, who knows? So, oh no, that's good. That's good. Yeah, it's definitely outdated. It's outdated. And a little weird, by the way. It's a little fucking weird when you think about the original Constitution before the amendments. When you think about that it was only white landowning males that were allowed to vote, that were allowed to run for office. And then those dudes said you had to be born here. Do you think when they said you had to be born here, they meant anybody else besides them? That meant that if you were born in, they don't want somebody born in England coming here and becoming president so they can change shit up. So, yeah, I definitely think they need to change that shit up. Like, if this is a democracy, what the fuck does it matter? If it's a democracy and we vote in somebody fucking born on Antarctica, who gives a fuck? My blood's running red, brother. Yeah, listen. If we're talking about candidates, here's what I need everybody to understand what time I'm on. Okay? Here is Robo for 2028 so that nobody is surprised. Okay? I'm over the bullshit. I'm over letting Democrats do whatever the fuck they want because hey, they use Republicans as the gun to your head. And I think when we didn't show up, listen, I voted for Kamala Harris. I felt gross doing it. Obviously, it didn't fucking matter. The only reason why I felt compelled to vote because I live in a swing state. That was the only reason why. And I'm not glad that I did that. Right now, if in 2024 Democrat voters didn't show up by like 2 or 3 million voters less than 2020. If their answer is to run another conservative Democrat, do not expect me to vote for that person. I did it for Kamala Harris. I did it for Kamala. I won't do anything different from Biden-Harris. I did it for Kamala when asked about a question about protecting trans rights that she said that they should just follow the laws. Harris. I did it. And if we get to 2028, we will have survived 2028. And if Democrats want to put another centrist in my face, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. We have 2 years as a nation. 2 years. We're not even anywhere near the primaries yet. Right? Like, even if I were big on electoralism, really the only time that makes any fucking sense to like lock in and say, fuck it, vote blue no matter who, would be after the primaries. Why are people ready to roll over 2 years early? Let them know that this motherfucker has proven time and time again with drugs, with housing, with racial equality, with labor, with healthcare, time and time again that he aligns as a conservative. And just because you say, oh, you got to have compassion for people who people bully, but also not trying to let dudes in dresses win sports. Am I right, guys? This dude's a conservative. And we have 2 years to say no. No, you do that shit again, it's not going to happen. I'm not looking for a real leftist. I'm not looking for a real leftist. I think the bar is pretty fucking low, though. I'm not looking for somebody to espouse socialism. I'm not looking for somebody to bring in, you know, fucking communist states of America. I'm looking for somebody who, at the very least, is going to espouse progressive values for real. Just do it. Support trans rights. Don't support a genocide. And support healthcare over the prison system. Don't allow yourself to be bought by big oil. Thanks for the follow, Merton Esper. Welcome to the Left Brigade. California's told the country Kamala was in it back in 2016 and nobody listened. Yeah. Because it's a popularity contest and the average voter doesn't pay attention to a politician acts. Just if they dunk on the person they don't like. Imagine, okay, so I would be willing to bet most of y'all aren't like dug in activists, right? Which is fine. I mean, people working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, I get it. But imagine if everyone here decided to be a signal boost to people around them to show them why we need to demand better. Why the bar is in hell, and all we're asking for is somebody who is pro-black and anti-genocide. Is that too much to ask? You know? Don't be an imperial. Well, so I'm not even asking not to be an imperialist. This is what I mean. I'm not asking for a leftist. I'm not asking for a leftist. I'm not asking them to close every military base or to undo our position in military power. I know these are things that I'm just gonna have to deal with. If you give me somebody who's anti-racist, anti-imperialist, and like Vala said, at least center left by European values, by European metrics. Then I have to eat the rest, right? I have to like suck it up. I have to know that I'm gonna still have capitalism. I'm still gonna have American imperialism. But at least we were able to get over that genocide bar, huh? Like at least we were able to clear that. Who knew that it would be so fucking hard to clear that? And if we can't clear that, do they deserve your vote? There is a level of people. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. All right. No. Oh, stop it. There we go. There is a level of people, right? So, like, we'll call this the top 1%, right? We'll call this wealthy. Middle class, right? So this is like your bourgeoisie, your petite bourgeoisie. And this is your working class. But wait, there's more. This is your poverty class. Let me tell you, yes, exactly, the poverty, disenfranchised. These are the people who has food insecurity. These are the people who have to choose whether to feed themselves or their children. These are the people living out of their cars because they're houseless, living under bridges because they're houseless. These are people who aren't allowed to get jobs because we tell felons to stay out of crime, but then we make it a part of their records so they're never hired again. And I need you all to understand something. That it's super easy to vote for, to champion the working class. And as a socialist, obviously, the working class has the power, right? This is where the country is built on top of, right? This is the labor that is stolen from, right? So this is not taking away anything from the working class. But these people here are always killed. These people here are always dying. They're always dying. They were dying under Biden. They were dying under Bill Clinton. They were dying under Obama. They are always dying. And what we're saying when we vote for somebody who's for genocide, when we vote for somebody who doesn't give a fuck about the disenfranchised, is that at least it's not us. You have to vote and go, hey, my guy only kills them. Phew. Sorry, lesser evil. Lesser evil. Sorry, I have to vote for the lesser evil. Hey, this is harm reduction, folks. Fuck them. That's what you're voting for. Because these people are not protected under Democrats. It's a lie to think that the lesser evil protects the disenfranchised. It doesn't. It protects people with just a little bit more, and it doesn't even protect them, by the way. But like you get a couple fake, comforts. Maybe you're allowed to protest. You get to protest without pepper spray. Congratulations. The disenfranchised and poverty are used to keep the working class in check. That's right. That's right. And just so you know, this is a pretty fucking limited, this is obviously pretty reductive, right? But it's only reductive because it's missing something pretty important. It's not taking into account race. Sometimes you live here and your life is here because you're trans, because you're black. Sometimes. Privilege is intersectional. Okay? Privilege and strife is intersectional. I need everyone to understand that the only way the system changes is by finding the people who will change the system. I understand everybody has different material conditions. Everybody has different material conditions. I am in Southeast Georgia, okay? Southeast Georgia. The only reason why I'm not in like some, in some like super Confederate white bed sheets over your head country is because I live near a bigger city. And if you live near Atlanta, Savannah, and some of the other bigger cities, then you have a little bit of that dark island thing, right? But Georgia as a state is pretty fucking deep red, even though the bigger cities allow it to become kind of a swing state. So our material conditions are not the same material conditions of those in like Washington and Oregon. But let me tell you something about Washington and Oregon that I think a lot of people don't realize is by area, right? By area, when you leave the city centers, Oregon is probably one of the most dangerous fucking places for non-white people. Oregon, in the north, in the Pacific Northwest, that is supposedly famously progressive. Oregon is probably one of the most dangerous places for anyone who's not white, because of the amount of people there that are like straight up no shit red lace skinheads in Oregon. But because they're in the country and they live in the rural areas, they can't vote hard enough, right? So luckily, places like Portland and other similar sized cities get to swing. Same thing in Washington, right? With Seattle and Olympia and Tacoma being concentrated enough to where the rest of the place, when you leave those cities, that's Trump country. That's Trump country. But not everybody gets to live in those material conditions. But as an example, having said that, as an example, what we have in Portland is four, right? I don't know, three or four DSA members in the Portland City Council. What kind of things do you think that those 3 or 4 people are going to support? You know what I mean? We need to find people, we need to signal boost them, and we need to get behind them. I'm white and I won't even go to Seattle or Tacoma. Wait, what? Why? Wait, what did I miss? Seattle, Tacoma and Seattle are nice. I mean, outside them. Do you mean you won't leave Seattle or Tacoma for that? You'd be fine in Seattle or Tacoma, but if you leave them and go into the woods, that's when shit gets a little maybe not. Seattle's not bad. When was the last time you were there? Which big cities are red? That's a good question. If I had to guess, before I look it up, I bet you they would be in, man, not even Texas, because they have, I don't know. Let's see. Let's look up largest Republican cities. Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City is red. Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City are technically blue, but their policies, I mean, they're conservative. Fort Worth, right? Because the area is called Dallas-Fort Worth, right? But Fort Worth is a pretty large city, and they're fully they're a Republican city. Yeah, Texas. I kind of figured like around there. Oklahoma is definitely not a surprise, because Oklahoma just might be our most racist state. I would say. Like, it's pretty wild how racist they are. I visited Puyallup back in the aughts. It was interesting. Is it the case that the rural voters swing the election for Trump? No, it was the Democrats who didn't show up. Like, there's been a lot of studies that came out. My strongest opinion was that Kamala Harris's refusal to call Gaza genocide, and her Israel's right to defend itself shit. That was my opinion why she lost, but it turns out that's not really the case. Well, not directly anyway. Like, but really what happened is Democrats didn't show up. Like, I think like 2 or 3 million less Democrats showed up than 2020. So, yeah. But you know who did show up? Trump. He talks about, you know what's funny about Trump is that he talks about record amounts of people voting, and about the same number of people voted for him in 2020 than they did now. Like, if Harris had just gotten closer to Biden's numbers as far as like people showing up, she would have beat Trump, because Trump didn't do much better or worse than 2020. He came in exactly how people expected him to come in. What happened is people stayed home. Even the third party, you know, a lot of people were mad at third party. It wasn't about that either. No, there weren't any none of the swing states had third party votes that would have mattered, that would have changed anything, even if all of them had voted for, which is silly to want anyway, because not all third party people would have voted for her if they were forced to vote for one of them, you know? Some people are more Republican but hate Trump and voted third party. And if you make them vote, they'll go, fuck, if you make me, but I guess I have to vote for Trump then. Like, that's not I think we need to start doing a little bit more education on third party voting. I think we have time. I think did you close that on his head? Yeah, you hit him. Why'd you open it so fast? I don't know, it sounded like a big old... Did you guys hear that? Yeah, see, everybody in the chat's like, what the fuck was that? That sounded so loud. Skin the dogs, and she hit Chappie's face with a door. So you reckon it's the centrism that got in the way? We aren't going down the route of no coming back, can't have a black woman as president, right? Well, here's what I'll tell you. Here's what I'll tell you. If we had to rank like reason 1, 2, and 3 for why Kamala Harris lost, this being the United States of America, number 1 is and was always going to be, she is a black woman. That was always going to be the case. That said, I was still upset with what she did because she's a black woman running for president in the United States, and we are a white supremacist nation. She has no margin of error, right? I mean, like, black and brown folks in the United States are always told from young, you can't be mediocre. We are not allowed to be mediocre. It was something that I've dealt with a lot in my military career, that if you got like a white dude who's mediocre, he just goes to work and he goes home and nobody cares. But you watch a black dude be mediocre, he's a dirtbag, he's lazy. It's because they're already looking for it. So if we know that's the case and we can't change that reality just yet, why did you do a walkout with Liz Cheney? Why did you say that you were going to do nothing different from Joe Biden when Joe Biden had an approval rating in the 30s? Why did you say you were going to continue fracking? You know what I mean? Why didn't you have trans people's backs when you were asked that question point blank? And then when people figured out that she was just going to be another Biden, she already had no margin of error because she was a black woman. Yes, absolutely. Number one reason that she lost was because she's a black woman, and it would be very naive for anybody to say different. She still could have won though, and that's the truth. Where I disagree with like a lot of the blue MAGA types is the fact that she lost because America's racist and that's it. Like she never had a chance because of how racist everybody is. That's not true. That's not true. Yeah, she really did. And I'll tell you what, I don't think it was just her. I think that was the party. I think Biden should have told her, hey, do your own thing. Don't worry about me. But she had to follow the party. She had to not make him look bad. You know? And so instead of saying, no, I will reduce the amount of permits for fracking. And you know, I mean, instead of saying, hey, the thing that everyone was excited for when Biden stepped down, when Biden stepped down, you see how everyone was excited. Me, other leftists, socialists, didn't fucking matter. If you didn't want Biden to run because that's how afraid of a Trump presidency you were, when he stepped down, well, I won't say everybody, damn near everybody was like, let's go. There was energy. Everybody could feel it through the internet, and it was her race to lose, and she did it. The party flat out needs to separate from Biden and Obama. And you know how you know? Do you know how you know that's not going to happen anytime soon? Here, check this out. New York's most powerful Democrat hasn't endorsed Mamdani yet. The governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, has still not endorsed. Is he a third party runner? Is he somebody on the left that was able to beat the odds and beat the Republican and Democratic Party? Was he? No. He's a Democrat. He ran as a Democrat in the Democratic Party. Maybe because she sucks. She does suck. She does suck. What possible reason could a Democrat like Jeffries or Kathy Hochul have for not endorsing a fellow Democrat, a Democratic Socialist, Mamdani? What could it be? Maybe it's because the Democrats have no intention of breaking off from anything. they have no intention of changing anything. Because you want to know what didn't change when Trump became president? You know what didn't change? Nancy Pelosi's access to stock information. The donors
F-35s,
who give millions
fighter
of dollars.
jets. You can't see it.
Dr.
You literally
Midnight.
can't see it. Even if it's right next to it, it can't see it.
GD to SU streaming. Hope you are we.
Whoever Streamlabs uses to voice these things really struggles with reading, and I almost feel bad. Thank you, Dr. Midnight. I appreciate the sub. That's dope. Just in case, Hero, good to see you streaming. Hope you are well. Everything Dr. Midnight put in there was spelled perfectly, had periods, punctuations, and somehow she still struggled. So I don't know what her problem is. Yeah. He is too far. He is too far from the establishment. Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, whichever one they're using. This is a Streamlabs plugin. Whichever one they're using is doo-doo water. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Oh man. I think does anybody disagree? Does anybody disagree? Like, no, Gavin Newsom is that dude. Because I would like to hear why anybody would think that, especially after going over what we just went through. It is unusual for me to spell correctly and get correct. Yeah, if it's unusual and you still did it and she still couldn't read it. I have to write a strongly worded letter to Buttigieg. Buttigieg is not. I don't know. People talk about him. Well, I gave myself homework. On Friday, we're gonna break down who I think are some of the more promising Democrats. If we weren't gonna go third party, which I'm not convinced I won't do. Newsom does have better hair than Trump. Yeah. If we're worried about hair, that is actually a fact. That is a fact. I don't think anyone involved with the Biden admin has a chance at this point. No, I don't. I think we know what the formula is. I think we are very aware of the formula. By watching someone like Mamdani win the largest city, the most diverse city in the United States. That is a global population center, right? Like if you had if you created nodes of cities across America, you would connect like giant cities like New York and Chicago and LA and Miami and Dallas, right? But if you zoomed out to the world, some of those cities become a little bit less relevant, right? You would have like LA to Miami. Yeah, Miami is a big port for the Caribbean. And you're going to have a lot of lines connecting to New York. New York is not just an American epicenter, it is a global epicenter. And we had a Democratic socialist win the mayoral over not only the incumbent, but an establishment Democrat. Handedly. A new poll just came out recently saying that there is mathematically no chance for Mamdani to lose unless the everyone else drops out. The Libertarian, the Republican, they have to like completely fall out of the race, and it has to be Mamdani versus Cuomo. For Cuomo to even have a chance, that it still would be the underdog. So, if you ask me, that's like, oh, well, shit. Hey, everybody, good news. Good news, everybody. What reference is that? What show is that from? Good news, everybody. We figured out the what people want. Let's go. Let's do that. And the only reason why they would say no is like, listen, if we're gonna do that, we're going to lose a lot of money from our big oil donors, from our pharmaceuticals donors, from our insurance company donors, from fucking APAC. Futurama, very good. Very good. Ding, 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 ding. If y'all think that anything is ever going to change if we keep putting Democrats like the ones we have back in, especially if it's a motherfucker like Gavin Newsom, then, and when I say y'all, I don't mean y'all, I mean like voters, right? If voters are just going to keep, look, I don't know. Some of y'all are saving up money for that house, that dream house. Y'all need to be saving up money to leave this goddamn country. That's what needs to happen. Y'all need to be saving up money. Like, hey, look, I don't think people realize how easy it is to leave. At least, temporarily. You can go teach English. And I would be one of the first people out of the country to go take that English teaching job. Because if it becomes too popular, then it's going to be competitive and it's going to be harder to leave the country. Even if Trump sabotages and the Dems don't support him, I think he's going to change some things for the better in NYC. I'm voting for him regardless. Yeah, Mamdani, yeah. And here's the bad part. Do I think if Oprah won, she'd get elected? I think there was a time Oprah could have won. I think there's a time that could have happened. But I think that she has kind of stayed, she has risen to like this godlike, very detached level of elite. She has a very large portion of Hawaii that she owns. She is a billionaire. I don't know that she would be able to convince anybody that she's the same Oprah that people loved, and you know what I mean? So here's what's gonna happen with Mamdani that I'm calling right now. How many people are in New York City? 8 million. So there are 8.5 million people in New York City. New York City alone. 8.5 million people. John Battle. What's up, Left Face? I'm gonna have to catch the read. John Battle. Oh, you're from okay, you're from Blurred Koa. Man, you tripped me out for a second. I had an old boss like 15 years ago. His last name was Battle. I was like, did this dude just find me on Twitch? Oh man, Mama didn't raise no dummies. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100%. I've seen the voting pool here. They scare me. Yeah. What I'm gonna do for the next 2 years. Oh, I'm sorry. 8.5 million people in New York, right? 8.5 people in New York. Does anybody think that in And then in the time Mamdani is mayor, that he is going to be able to like solve and make New York a utopia. You know what I mean? Like, so New York is going to have a lot of the same problems while he is the mayor. There are things he's probably going to be able to get done. I bet you we're either, right? Because don't forget, there's still I forget, because a city council, right? Like, I think they're called something else. They're not called a city council. They're called something else, right? Assemblyman or some shit like that. That he has to like pass things through, right? So he's not king of New York, but he's mayor, right? So that's point number one. He's not king of New York. He's mayor. Which, if they don't let him pass certain things, they're gonna say it's his failure. And if you're his enemy, which the Democrats and the Republicans are, the establishment Democrats, then anything that he doesn't have time to fix will be on him. Maybe he secures rent control, but he doesn't get all of the public housing that he wanted. Maybe he alderman. Okay, yeah, that's what it is. Hot take. We support Elon's new party, then we arrange for him to not be around anymore and use his money. If only he had it like in a big safe. We could do a heist. Alderman. Okay. All right, bet. But let's say he makes public transportation free, and he secures rent control, but doesn't get as much done as he wanted. Guess what? If crime has been, dropping steadily by 1% for the past 5 years, and it goes up 1% while Mamdani's president, it's going to be because, you know why crime is spiking right now? You know why crime is taking over New York? Because we have a socialist Muslim mayor. That's what they're going to say. Watch. Maybe the Democrats won't be so bold. They do their work more shady. They're going to undermine him in different ways. But you'll start seeing that shit on Fox News for sure. Friday, we're gonna do a multi-stream, right? I'm gonna stream on Twitch and YouTube on Friday. Probably for the first half hour while we talk about, what Democrats we could be looking at, what progressives are out there that would be viable, that we should be signal boosting. But then we're going to turn off YouTube and we're going to watch Jubilee on Twitch, because YouTube does not like when I watch Jubilee. And it'll like start doing stupid shit. Yeah, if crime stays exactly the same, whatever the crime rate is, it'll be his fault. It'll be because he was a Muslim socialist. Exactly. So I do want to watch Jubilee, but it's kind of long and I feel like we started too late. So what we're gonna do instead is actually it's what is this? This one right here. Amanda Seals versus 20 Black Conservatives. It's junk food. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do brain rot. This is going to be our brain rot. Because it's junk food. I think she does a really good job. I think she's pretty awesome in it. but it doesn't do anything. We're gonna sit here and agree with her. No, Cuomo has already confirmed he's running. He's running as an independent. He's already confirmed that. Out of juice. You ever seen a comedy, The Candidate with Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis? No, it's a prime Republican propaganda, but there was truth in how the inner workings of the system work. No, I've never seen that. All right, listen up, folks. If you are over on the YouTube side, we're going to bring that side of the stream to a close. And if you are so willing, come on over to twitch.tv/leftfacetv so we can watch Amanda Seals yell at a bunch of Nazis. If I tried to watch it on YouTube, YouTube starts muting the stream and does all kinds of stupid shit, and then I have to I'm not gonna deal with all that. So we're gonna shut down the YouTube side. If you don't feel like going to Twitch or you're ready to go to bed, let me say goodnight and thank you very much for swinging by. And I hope you come see me on Friday, where we'll start talking about some progressives out there in the political world that maybe we should be looking for. We should be looking at. If you all have any good ideas, if you all have any Unity Black, thanks for the follow over here. If you all have any ideas on Democrats that you think are good, bring them on Friday, and let's go through them and let's figure this out. So I'll either see you on the Twitch side or I'll see you on Friday. Good night, YouTube. I love you. Take it easy.